Hey, what's going on, everyone? We're live here on the BookMine YouTube channel. We're going to do some BookMine sourcing. Victor's going to be joining us here in a second. He's going to grab his hat. But we just came over from my YouTube channel, and I wanted to keep the momentum rolling here. So we got Jerry saying, looking forward to live sourcing video with Victor and Joji. Absolutely. And what's going on? What's going on, Victor? I already started the stream just to keep
Oh,
momentum.
yeah, I found my hat. There we go.
That too. Guys, we got BookMine merch. How sick is that? I don't know about you, but it's just awesome. I even got the BookMine shirt. We're probably going to look into other like better quality stuff because I had to make this like last minute for the conference. But
We
so it's not
definitely
like the
did. We
best
definitely did
hat per
both of
se.
these last minute.
Yeah, it's not the best hat per se, but the logo and
Yeah,
the book itself is awesome. So, anyways, yeah, Jerry says he's looking forward to some live sourcing. Welcome back from Miami Sellers Conferences, Denise. Thank you so much.
thank you.
And loving live sourcing, absolutely. Love the logo. I know, right? So,
Yeah.
so awesome. All right, so let's get into sharing our screen. Victor, we just came from my channel. We were sourcing on BookMine. How many books did we find in about 15 minutes?
4 books we would purchase, and that would be, depending on how many units we had, up to 10
Yeah.
altogether. So
So we
yeah.
had the first three we said yes to. This one we said maybe track it. And then this one we said you could buy it, but it's probably going to get even better, so probably track it. And now we're
Yep.
down to the sixth book, which is about the profit of the Sandlots. Good price, but in oversupply. And you're seeing a dip in the current use price. Just from a normal keep a shot, Victor, I'm thinking this is worth right around 25, 30 bucks, and it's right around 11. So we're looking at about a third of its current price.
Yeah, that's what it's looking like.
Let's take a look. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is an interesting book. That's all I can say, right? Every book is different, right, Victor? It's just like every person's different, every graph is
For
different.
me, it's like every graph tells a story. So I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
yeah.
So going back into the early story, I'm like, wow, this book was worth nothing, and then spiked in price like crazy and was selling in the 40s, and then came back down and then spiked in price again, and spiked in price again, and then since then has been going strong, strong
Yeah.
in the 30s, low 30s up into the mid 30s. So kind of what we're looking at right now, Victor, is a
Yeah.
steep repricing war, which actually just happened not too long ago in September of last year. Repricing war, and what happened after those few
Yeah,
copies
and
got
that's
bought
also
out?
really positive when people ask me, how do I know this isn't the last time it ever will drop and never come back? One of
Right.
the ways you can do that is by looking at the history to see if this has ever happened before where the prices dropped like that and then recovered. And so this book, it has dropped that low and then quickly recovered and still
Yeah.
sold even at those higher prices. So
Yeah.
another really good positive here is that this book has a ton of proven sales in the 30s, right?
Yeah.
And that's really positive. But the book is around $10 shipped. Yeah.
$10. It's BookMine tells us $11.03. Again, that's going to be the all-in price there.
Yeah.
So looks like it actually is a little bit lower because this is still undergoing a very severe repricing war.
Yeah.
You can kind of see every like hour, 2 hours, this price is dropping. So next time BookMine runs this book, it'll come up with a new updated price. But
Yeah, because
BookMine
that was
found
about an
this.
hour ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the last hour, it's gone even lower than that. So we're looking at a buy price of 10.77, and I'm pricing this right around 35 bucks, Victor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Oh yeah.
prime seller,
34, $35. Yep.
$10 profit. You pay for a couple of days of BookMine off just buying one copy of this book. I mean, I personally don't see how this doesn't sell for $35.
And I'd buy more than one if I could find 2 or 3 copies of that book. At
Yeah,
least two.
1077,
Yeah.
1077, and then we go up to 1089. So we got a couple copies there, and this could even get cheaper. I mean, this book could even not that. So this is at a buy point for me. This is at a buy price,
Yeah.
but this could even get down into the nines, mid nines, even into the eights, maybe into the sevens if
Hmm.
you let it sit there for a while because of the repricing being so severe. But yeah, this is something that has enough sales. I mean, I'd buy at least 3 copies, and so I would say probably about $30 profit for those 3 books. What do you like about this book, Victor, in terms of it not being
Well, it's what I like about it is it's not a college book, and
right?
so I don't have to worry about counterfeits or anything like that. It's an old book, so it's dependable. It's not like something new is going to come on the market and really tank this book or something. So yeah,
19, this book was
stuff like that.
1990. This book was made before I was born, so this book is holding strong. And one of the reasons probably why it's selling so strong right now is because if you look at its offer count in the past, it was always in the 30s.
Hmm.
Now we're looking at offer counts in the 10 to 12 range, or even lower than that. And that's a great sign that this book is just becoming rarer to find. It's probably why it's becoming more valuable. One tip, by the way, guys, you could always go over to eBay and take a look and see if there's maybe some copies there that are cheaper. and you can sort there by the lowest price first. And look, you got Big River Books, 817, Victor. Is it a good copy? It's a good copy.
Yeah.
That's out of stock. Someone just bought it.
Somebody's watching us
Yeah,
and and deciding to buy them. So that's good. It's
yeah,
exactly what you should be doing.
yeah. And that's 150% ROI. Amazing. 12. I mean,
Yeah.
that's 3 days BookMine right there off
Yeah.
one book, Victor.
Yeah.
It's
It
crazy.
just keeps happening. And by the way, Joji, I think since it's the top of the hour, you could click refresh and probably
Okay.
get a whole set of new books if you wanted to.
Okay, let's go ahead and let's go and refresh here. And then see what we got. Okay, yeah, top of the hour. So you can see 10:09. So we got a list of new books here. So again, we're updating every hour. Every other book selling software updates, what is it at most?
Once a day.
Once a day at
Yeah.
most. So you're only looking at fresh data every 24 hours. We're showing you fresh data every hour. And not only that, our software is actually making predictions about books that are actually profitable. The other book selling softwares are actually just trying to find books that have low MF offers relative to the buy box prices to try to inflate the buy box. So we're not even like in comparison with those books. So we're like a one-of-one category. Like what we're doing is so significantly different that I wouldn't even say you should even include us in that other category, right? Because we're just so
Yeah.
different in the way that
Yeah.
we approach books. But so let's take a look here.
Completely
We got a
different.
book,
Yeah.
Eric Stanton, good price but oversupply. Currently $40 all in. Look at the Cuba graph. I'm looking at probably most of the sales in the 70s, maybe 70s to 80s. But let's take a look. Okay, so here's a graph that's a little bit more difficult to read. And the reason why I say it's a little bit more difficult to read is, well, one, for whatever reason, the used price is kind of hanging out towards the bottom of the graph, even though the used price is higher. So the reason for that is there's probably something, yeah, it's probably the used prices in the past have been pretty high, and that's kind of
Yeah.
stretching the graph. So I'm actually going to look at just the last couple years like this and exclude that data, and still we're up pretty high. So I'm wondering what's going on here. Is there new prices? Okay, there must have been a new price that was really high for a little bit. The thing with this though, Victor, is that there's a lot of price drops on this graph, which makes it hard to read. And so you really have to zoom in and make your best
So
educated guess.
it makes it look like these books are selling really high. So, you know, in
Right.
the 80s and but if you kind of zoom in, actually it's where the price drops is where actually the sales are happening a lot of times. So like
Yeah,
right there, that's more than likely where that sale was.
yeah.
Where-
The sale was at $18, and the
And it
sales
took
link
keep
dropped.
a yeah, it took keep a little while to figure that out.
Yeah, same thing
Yeah.
here. Sales lane drops at 16. So what we're seeing is a book that, and again, this is kind of one of the limitations of BookMine, being honest, right? Is that we're trying to look at, the average use prices, like looking at them when the book is actually selling. Here's an example where you need to have strong Keepa foundational skills to realize that a significant number of these sales are happening at the 18ish range. Now there are some sales, like for example, here are some sales that are probably happening at $70, but
Mm.
just know that a lot of those sales are happening at a cheaper price. So this is a book that you probably want to pick up at one of those dips, which is why you'd want to track it, right? So if you could track it for like $18 free shipping, I think you'd be a solid there with a pickup. But
Because it did drop down to $18 like at least what 10 times this year.
yeah,
So yeah,
and those are
just be
immediate
ready
sales.
to buy it
Yeah,
during that period.
yeah, you need to buy
Yeah.
during that period.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what else we got. We have a book that's just straight repricing. Where we're going down here, Victor, close on the gold meter.
Yeah.
So meaning not necessarily super undervalued, but it's in short supply. So we thought there's enough there for us to think that, okay, if the price is going down and the supply is going down, there's possibility of this book going up. So we do have sales in the mid-20s, and we do have pretty strong historical evidence of this selling for the mid-20s in the past. Even we have
Mhm.
historical sales up in the 40s. It's clearly not a textbook, right, Victor?
Yeah.
And that looks like a comic book of some sort. Interestingly, Amazon just came back to the listing at 34. So they are going to be a price ceiling. So what do you think about this book here, Victor?
You know, I really like the fact that the used offer counter is dropping because usually when the used offer counter is dropping, the price is usually spiking, and so the fact that it's doing the inverse is a really good sign. I like it. I mean, I wouldn't. My next thing, I'm close to buying it. My next thing was see
Yeah,
how many copies there is,
right.
and if there's only a few used copies, say at the lowest price point, I'm a buyer. But if it's like a whole, they've all gathered at $12, then I probably wouldn't. So I'm seeing now
Yeah.
3 copies around 15.
So
Yeah, that's
about
good.
five or so copies at 15, and then it goes up to 17, and then it goes up to 25. Yeah, so I think this is just going to keep repricing down. You
Yeah.
can see every day it's repricing down. So again, Here's another book you could track. I would say, even with Amazon, I'm listing at $35.
Mm.
By the way, it only says one in stock, so there could be only one in stock, or maybe there's more in stock. But I'm just obviously going to assume Amazon stays in stock. I'm saying my sell price is $29.99 is what I'm looking at. So if I could pick this up for like $8 shipped, then I would say absolutely no brainer, buy that book. Maybe even going up to $10, right? But
Yeah. How long has Amazon not been in stock? When's the last time they were in stock?
they were in stock in 2018 to 2019.
Yeah, so it's just weird that they're in stock just right now. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I would definitely track the book because what would stop us right now is Amazon being in stock. And so if
Right.
Amazon stays in stock, we're not going to make any money off of it. And or if I guess if it gets down to $8, so
Yeah.
track it for 8. If it gets down to 8, then buy it.
And by the way, you
Yeah,
can see that right before Amazon came back in stock, we had a prime seller who was able to sell out at $35. So
yeah,
there are sales at $35 for sure, even in the past. And you can see when Amazon used to be in the past and they go out of stock, prices tend to go up. And sales rank of this comic book was great. So yeah, interesting to see what happens there. Not an amazing book, but definitely a book that you would still want BookMine to show you. All right, so let's look at this book. Let's look at this one here, Modeling Single Name. So we've got a 38 price point, good price, normal supply, and stable. And we can see it just dropped in price, right? I mean, it
right.
was in the last 6 months, it's been selling basically in the 70s, even up into the 80s. So you're at
Yeah,
a price point
yeah,
of all in ship 38. You're looking at 70s to 80s. You've seen points in the past where it's been that low and then recovered and then sold in the 80s.
yeah.
You've seen other large drops, one-time drops down to 38, and then another
And it
one-time
was
drop down to
quickly bought
32.
when it was dropping like that. So that's
And then
also positive.
and then
Yeah,
also recovered, right?
yeah,
So this is something that, I mean, if you look at the last 7 or 8 years, I think there's only 2 or 3 times where it's been cheaper, and it was these points. So it was there for about a couple days, probably, maybe about 5 or 6 days. Then it recovered. It was a drop there, recovered instantly, and then drop here, recovered, drop there, and recovered. So I'm feeling very confident. I don't really even see the sales velocity really significantly decreasing either. I see that it's still selling pretty
yeah.
strong.
And the used offer count kind of has remained about the same the entire year, which is also really
Yeah.
positive.
Yep.
I'm thinking I'd be able to sell this book say for like 85, and with
Right.
what was the all in price under 40?
38.42 is what we're looking
Yeah,
at.
then
Yeah, I'm
that's a
thinking,
good ROI.
yeah, yep, 38.42. I would say I'd probably put my min price at $75, Victor.
Okay.
That'd be about 37. I'd probably put my max price like 89.99, which would be around a 70% ROI. And this book doesn't sell a ton. I'd say it'd probably go up to 2 copies. What do you think?
I mean, for me, I would probably buy one and then try to sell it for around 84. So I mean,
Okay.
we're close to each other, and that's
Yeah.
what makes us really good that we're both doing this together because there's just slightly different price points, but I mean, we'll both sell them. So,
Right.
and that fact there was only one copy, is that right? At
There's
32?
actually 2 copies from one seller.
Yeah, I would buy both of those.
Okay. But I mean, again, you could always experiment just by one. So you do
Yeah,
have some other prime competition as well. So you have some people in the mid 70s. So at a 77 price point, you're still looking at a 40% ROI, $16 profit,
yeah,
and you've got just a few sellers there as well. So um, personally, a book that's very undervalued relative to past historical sales. I don't see how you lose money on this book. I mean, even if you went down as low as like selling this book for $60, Victor, which is below what it sells for
yeah.
historically, I mean, you're still breaking even. You're still making money, even though it's like
Still
a
make a
dollar.
dollar. Yeah, but
But
still, that's profit. Yeah,
that's like worst case scenario, right?
right.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm thinking. Okay, so let's look at I mean, by the way, I'm not necessarily skipping these because these are bad books. I'm just trying to find like a really like, okay, dude, this is an awesome book. Like, you need to go. Like, this is a really good book. Like, you need to go buy this book. And I am passing lots of really good books here. I'm just trying to see, and this is what you guys should be doing as well. Is in the beginning, right? You're probably going to be living out of capital, so you might only have $100 a day, $200, even if you have $500 a day to spend. You need to be selective because there are so many books that you could buy, right? That you want to be selective of what you're buying. So even though you could buy a large majority of these books, like you probably want to still focus on the ones you get better ROI on, better margin from. So why did I pick on this book, Victor?
Just because there's a huge spread between where it is now versus where the lowest price was just 3 4 months ago. That's why.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
30 mid 30s, we're
yeah.
down at let's see what the all-in price is, 16.94. So we're
Wow.
about half price. That's why we're at a good price here. And
Yeah,
then sales in the 50s,
yeah,
mid 40s and the 50s, basically the whole year before that. And offer count is also stable. It's not significantly higher. I mean, that's an anomaly, Victor. It's like, I guess it's not an anomaly is when the price is going down and the offer count is going down. But the fact that you have the price going down so low, but the supply is staying the same, just screams repricing war between mega booksellers.
yeah. But
So
it's a rare thing. It's not. It
yeah,
isn't supposed to happen in a market.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's not supposed
and
to happen. You
right.
right? Supply and demand says that if the price goes down, it's probably because you have more supply.
Yeah,
And here we're having the price go down when the number of people selling it's the same, which is kind of unheard of, right?
right.
So let's get some copies, 16.94, and then it goes starts going up to 17. So I'd probably buy this book, even though it's from a guy with 75% feedback. He says it's in good condition. I'd probably still take a chance. I mean, you might want to spend an extra dollar and buy the very good copy from Books from California. I'm not sure what your thought there is, Victor, but I'd probably still be fine buying that. What do you think?
I mean, the what was the other? So 14, 15, 16. So we're a dollar more with the Goodwill. Um, yeah, I mean, either one of those, I really don't think that really that would matter much. I mean, both are making some really good profit. It's just us again being really picky.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we're really picky as you guys
Yeah,
can tell.
like $16 sell it for 50, $17 sell it for 50. Oh, I mean, it's still really good ROI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is another book that has quite a few sales. I'd probably buy two,
Mm.
maybe three copies at most, but 2 to 3 copies. Definitely, I'd buy 2 copies, and I'd probably be pricing it right around the 47.99 because that's going to be a little bit under the current new price, and there's a pretty big gap between that and the Amazon price. And this has sold at the lowest price for 50. So
Yeah.
um, I'm just curious to see if there's also any prime sellers on this. So we got a couple at 39, and these people, this person, by the way, is a new seller, so they're not going to be able to compete with me in the buy box. So even if I come in at 47, I'll still likely win the buy box over them. And then we have one person here at 39 who's actually priced at a really good price. I mean, I think he's undervaluing his book for sure, but that's good news for us because that means he's probably one of the next sales up.
Yeah,
So,
more than likely they'll sell the book even before you get the your book in
right,
stock, and then you'll have the buy box because the other person doesn't have any feedback yet.
absolutely. So here's a book that I just want to show this book just so you guys have a little bit of an understanding of Amazon's prices and how they impact whether or not you should buy a book. So this book is an awesome book for the fact that it's a very niche book, Special Panzer Variants. So it's a book about war tanks. So obviously there's a specific subset of people who want it. But the reason I brought this up is Amazon's is the ceiling at 36, and right now the all-in buy price is 18. There's not going to be any margin really there. I mean,
Right.
if you buy it for 18, you'd have to sell for like
You would really
33,
just kind of break even,
and you
very
just
close
barely
to it.
break even. So you guys need to be able to understand that when you're looking, right? This is a book you want BookMine to show you because it factually is a book that is undervalued, right? And we want BookMine to show undervalued books, but you still need that last part to realize, okay, Amazon's here holding strong at 36. Now, if let's say, for example, Amazon was at 60, now all of a sudden this is game changing for this book. This is a great book to pick up because probably what's likely to happen is that the used price is going to be higher as well, and there's more margin for you. So not a
But what?
bad book by any
Yeah.
means, but you have to realize kind of in your head, like, okay, where the price ceilings at, and kind of where am I going to be at if I purchase at this price relative to where you think you could sell for.
But it's also good to point out why it showed up is, and it did show it was just a close price. So
Yeah,
it told you like, hey, on price alone, this isn't a great book. It's good enough. It's on its own, just merits just the price. But then it also showed you that it was the lowest price ever, and that's how it made it on BookMine because like lowest price ever, you want at least want to check it out.
it's
I
been
mean,
out for
and
over a
yeah,
decade,
yeah,
and this is the
yeah,
lowest price it's ever been. And what's
yeah.
even better is you can see it's a really quick repricing war down. And if we were to look at the listing here, you could probably see it's probably 2 or 3 people who are just probably Goodwills. Let's see. Better World Books, Books from California, Half Price Books. So these are all mega textbooks or mega, not textbook, mega booksellers. And so they're all repricing down. And
See, if we get this book down to $10, then we're
yeah,
good. And there's three
absolutely. And
sellers there. There's a potential.
yeah,
So
you can
if
actually
you're
see
really interested in it, yeah,
it says $18 here. And this is undergoing such a massive repricing where it literally just dropped again. And
yeah.
now it's down to $14 free shipping. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm thinking 32.99 is a price that it would sell at. That's enough of a difference between the prime price, saving five bucks. And if your buys for $10, then you are in the money.
Yeah.
Um, and Victor, this has never been cheaper than this. I mean, it might take you a little while to sell it, but I'm seeing this as an asset. Like you're putting your money into something that holds value. Like over
Mm.
the last decade, this book has never been cheaper,
Yeah.
and it's
Right.
still selling. So, and it's like I always like to think about the book like, can I see someone buying a book about special Panzer variants? Yeah, absolutely. There's somebody out there who's a war geek that's like, let's buy this book, right?
Go
So
buy it. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, part of it always comes down to, can I understand why somebody would want to buy this? And I can absolutely understand why someone would want to buy this, and the data also supports that. So awesome book that BookMine found us. Again, something that you might want to track. I mean, if this book got down to $8, it'd be an absolute steal. It'd be an amazing, amazing deal. And I know we're getting really excited about $6 and $8 profits, but the reality is, you only need a $4 profit per day to make BookMine worth it. And
And all the rest of that's just profit after that. And you have
all
this
the
really
rest of this
powerful
is
tool for
gravy,
the rest
right?
of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Let's do some sourcing with some filters. So let's look for books. Um, let's look for books that are a good price,
Okay.
or we'll just say good or great price.
Okay.
So we're not even looking at close price. We're gonna be extra picky here, Victor. So we're gonna say good
All right.
or great price,
It
and
brought us
then
down
let's
to
say
2,000 books. Okay.
yes, and then down to this. We cut down 1,000 books, and then let's say we got some book types here. We got college, high school books. Let's just pop on the high school books real quick. It's about 13. Let's just see what's going on here. Um, so I'm liking this one already. This
Yeah.
teachers book. I love teacher editions and teacher manual books because there are specific listings, Victor, for teachers manuals and teacher books. Like this one says teacher manual. So you
And,
wouldn't want
and,
to sell
and it's
student
rare
it
that I ever get to talk to a teacher and tell them about this. So why is the teacher's edition so much more special than the student edition, Doji?
because Victor, if you just think of my classroom, I have one chemistry teacher edition book in my classroom, and then I've
Okay.
got 150 student editions. So think about the supply difference. You know,
Right.
every classroom you've got one teacher edition versus
Yeah.
150 student editions. So
Yeah.
how could that book not be rarer?
Right. Yeah, exactly. They rarely print out teachers editions. That's why they're just that popular. And anybody besides a teacher I'm talking to, that it's hard for them to understand that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
guess that does make sense.
It makes
Yeah.
absolute sense. Okay, so this is clearly a seasonal book. Saxon is actually a homeschool publishing brand. What's interesting is that you see the sales rank improve August, September, but you actually see the price even after that hold really strong in the 70s,
Mm.
which is kind of crazy. Now, normally, even though we don't talk about exploiting the buy box, the fact of the matter is during textbook season is the most likely time that a book in the buy box will sell for an inflated price.
Right.
Wouldn't you agree, Victor?
Right. Exactly.
Because there's more
Yeah.
demand. There's more people coming listing. There's more people who need it. There's more people. More importantly, more people who need it urgently.
There's
And
a
so,
reason why, right? So
yeah,
that student starts class on Monday, and the teacher comes in and gives them their what is it? Their syllabus, and
mhm,
tell them what book they need, and they need it by the next class. And because most of the kids are actually go and buy it from the bookstore, but you can go and buy it on Amazon, and get it cheaper, but need it in 2 days, and that's why
absolutely.
the pop usually books on FBA at that time really pop in price.
Yep. So we're at right around the $35 mark free shipping. You can see in the
Mhm.
past that's kind of where it's hung out around right before we had textbook season. So I would definitely recommend buying at least one copy of this, even though the price doesn't necessarily seem significantly lower than what you
Yeah.
could have bought it before in this, season coming up to textbook season or high school book season. You'd want at least one copy of this in stock because I would say with a very strong likelihood this book could sell for $70, probably between $70 and $80, honestly.
Yeah.
And if you look at this book over the last few years, you can see kind of in the high 20s to right around 30 is the cheapest it ever gets, anyways. And then you can see there are some seasons where it spikes up to 100, like the 3 seasons before this previous season. There, the price did get up to the high 90s and the hundreds, and even after the season was over, I mean, it was selling in the 80s. So what's interesting
And
is
that's
they're
what I'm
also
watching for. Every year it's doing that. And I don't see why it wouldn't do it again this year, right? They're still going to have teachers. They're still going to have kids who need this book. I mean, kids are going to be there and the teacher needs the book. So I don't see why this book wouldn't spike again.
So you even have the book available for $30 here, which is better. It is acceptable condition, which is a little bit of a bummer. Then you have someone who's offering free local pickup for $25. So, oh, he's in Escondido, California. So that's actually not that I'm gonna go drive out to him, but I could say buy it now. And
Yeah,
honestly, I wouldn't even. It wouldn't even. I might even say, hey, because right now $35 is the buy price on Amazon, right?
yeah,
So I could say, hey, I'll give you an extra $5 if you drop it off in my apartment. He'd probably would say no, but who knows? Maybe he comes out to Oceanside, which is where I live, and
yeah.
it's just funny that free local pickup, right? Maybe I can negotiate with him and say, hey man, I'll do $20. I'll do 20
Yeah,
bucks for the book, and
yeah. Then it might
and
be
then he
worth it
might.
then.
So this is like using framing, right, to your advantage. I'd say like, hey, I really want this book. I'd be willing to pay $20, and he might be like, sure, come pick it up. And then I'd say, but I kind of live in Oceanside. Would you be willing to drop it off for an extra $10? Like, could you drop it off in my apartment and I'll give you 30? And then you're like, oh, okay. I might
Yeah,
do that. I might
yeah.
go drop. I'm in Oceanside anyway. Let's drop it off for an extra $10, and then I get it at my buy price. So that's kind of rare that would happen in your local area. It's kind of hilarious, but it's really cool. So yeah, I mean, going back to this book, I'd be thinking selling in the 70s to 80s.
Yeah.
Buy price at 35, you're looking at a $15-$20 profit. Again, this book doesn't ever get below that, really. I mean,
I'd buy it and sell it in the 80s. So right under 80, like 79.95,
yeah,
79.99.
yeah, absolutely. So good book there. So there are some
That
good
law
books
book
there.
that's right there is actually an all year round book.
Yeah,
That
this is
just
a
does a
crazy
little
book.
bit better. Yeah, it's a great book. It's really consistent.
Yeah, yeah. So well, this is crazy. Look at these Vivox prices getting up into the 90s. I mean, even into the 140s. Not necessarily saying that they're saying. I bet you that because of the sales rank, a lot of these are selling in the
They are
70s.
selling. Yeah,
Yeah, they are selling there, which is crazy because you could even bought them here and then sold them for that high. But what's crazy is any point during this time when this book was popping off, the
yeah,
lowest used price was 30, Victor, and the buy box price was almost like in the hundreds. You could have literally just popped in at 70 and just probably sold it like immediately
right.
if you're a prime seller. But yeah, this is a great book.
And that's what a book like with that much velocity can get you. Every once in a while throughout the year, the price just because there's much supply, the price really goes up.
So I'm wondering if I can sell this book. Let's see if I can.
Yeah,
So I
I
can sell
can.
it, and
Yeah.
this came out in 1979. Dude, this is an amazing book, dude.
I really like these old books like it came out in 1979.
Dude, this is
Wow.
an
Yeah,
amazing
it
book. This
is.
is an
I
amazing book.
love that
Look at
book. Yeah, I always have it in stock, or at least I try to.
And
Yeah.
what do you normally sell for? I would guess
Um,
you probably sold in like at least in the mid 40s, probably.
I'm probably selling right under 50. So,
Yeah.
and because at least once or twice a year, it goes higher than that, and that's when I sell them. So I just wait, yeah, incognito until it hits 50, and then my book sell. So
Yeah, on it. The fact of the matter, that if you could ever buy price, I mean, even if you get this book 15, only 15 is because points get there for a couple days, and this book holds a strong level of like, and it also has a very strong history of going up in buy box price with the velocity of this book. Like this book can definitely pop off.
yeah,
So I'd say for me personally, I'm gonna track this. I'm gonna say $15 free shipping. And this is a book. Thanks, Victor. I've never sold this book before, but I saw it immediately. I was like, whoa,
yeah.
whoa,
No,
this is a
I
crazy book.
really enjoy that book. Yeah,
That's a great book. So anyone
yeah.
watching this, make sure you track that book. And we're here to give back to the community, right? I mean, there's
There's so many books to
even on
purchase.
eBay.
Some people are like, we're giving all the secrets away. I'm like, you don't understand. Then you don't understand the book market. There's just so many books out there.
Yeah. And look at this, right? I mean, look,
Yeah,
23 on eBay. This is
yeah,
today, actually yesterday.
yeah.
43 plus $7 shipping, probably because it was in really good condition. 24, 25, 40,
My
24.
question is, where are all these people finding a 1978 copy of a book? But this book is really popular. It must be some like every law student or every law professor needs this book. I guess
50,
yeah,
50. I mean, you
something
guys
like
have
that.
sold comps 10 days ago at $50 on eBay.
Yeah,
So, I mean, if that doesn't show you the power of this book, I don't know what does.
yeah,
By the
yeah.
way, we could also do is you can go into data offers and you can look at some of the prime offers over the last, let's go include historical offers, prime offers, 365 days. What we're going to look for is two things. So, we're going to look for the prime price. By the way, we're
Mm,
only going to look for
yeah,
not new, only good, only used condition. and we're going to look for two things: the prime price here on the left, and then we're going to look at when the offer went out of stock. If the offer goes
The
out of
blue
stock,
line,
we're going to
right?
say the
Yeah.
book sold. So right now you can see all of these lines are attached to the right y-axis. That tells us the book's still in stock.
Right.
But let's go down. Okay, so now we're starting to see people go out of stock. So this guy went out of stock at 195. Is that possible? It's possible. Although I would say probably these ones are more realistic. So 49.99, 30, 30, 33, 30. And this guy had a few copies. This guy was completely underselling at $19. A couple out of stock there, 20, 33, 49. And we're going to see that period of time where it was really popping off. 30s. Here it is where it was really popping off. 57, 56, 36. You're seeing all these people selling out. 60, 69, 63. So that's kind of where I would be holding now, is in the mid 40s to up to 70 probably, and even into the 90s. So really cool there, Victor.
Yeah. I'm happy we were able to pull that live.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the caps, says Michael.
Yeah.
We should put some replan Asins on the hat, just on the side. Dude,
Yeah.
it'd be like one of those college football helmets that just got stuff all over it. Just got a whole bunch of replan
Stickers
Asins.
of our
Yeah,
best
best Asins.
books. I think
That'd be
that's a good
awesome.
idea.
That'd be sick. Nothing better on the market.
Thanks,
BookMine
Michael.
is the AI version of your brains. It is. It really is. I noticed that I can't sell. Ah, that's a bummer, Michael. It's a bummer.
Yeah.
Um, so I've sold this book for now. You think the price can recover? I'm not sure which book he was referencing, but
I don't know. I think it was the book that we saw that already recovered a few times. So yeah,
okay.
I think that was the book that you wrote that on, Nathan. So yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael, true. So many books. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
there are so many books out there, Victor. There's 300,000 books that we're actively looking at that have a price of like 40, 50 bucks or more and sell at least once. I mean, how is there not enough books? I mean, even if my YouTube channel has 100,000 subscribers, it's not like 100,000 subscribers are going to be buying books. Half of them are just watching the content for the vlogs.
And you're right, and it's every hour 3,000 books that are being pulled up. So I
Yeah.
mean, we started this video like an hour ago on the other channel, and there was already a huge refresh of books, and we didn't
Yeah.
get a chance to look through even just like 10 books of those. So
We got to look through a total of, I want to say, 10 out of 3,000.
Yeah.
Like to look at 10 solid books
Right.
out of 3,000. So what percentages are we looking at there? I mean, we're looking at 0.01% or 1%. Yeah, something like that. So really small percentage, right? And those books update every hour. And by the way, we didn't have any competition. I mean, we've got quite a few people who are in our Facebook community who have BookMine, and there was very little competition on those books. I mean, there's one book on eBay that someone bought, which is probably someone watching this who bought it.
Right.
But we're going to show you guys that there's no scarcity mindset here. The book, while we would love to think we're making a massive impact, which I think we are making a beneficial impact, but while we would love to think we're making a massive impact, the reality is that the book market is insanely large. And even if we gave out this offer for free, I mean, there'd still be tons of people being able to find great deals. So anyways.
I agree. Yeah, that you're right. And that's why we did it. I mean, there's just so many opportunities out there.
Yeah.
We could go to like 5 times where we are now, and I still don't think we'd affect the market.
Yeah. And the thing is, the reason why this is so awesome is that there's so much opportunity. Most people are actually going to be limited by capital, how much money they have to spend. So what you have to think about is, what is your game plan? What is your strategy going forward? Because if you have $100 a day to spend, I wouldn't necessarily just say buy the first book you see. Maybe add some books to the cart, really start to learn the process of reading keepographs. But if you have $100 a day to spend, which is $3,000 a month, I mean, we would both consider that still still ramping up, right, Victor? Still ramping up, getting up there. But you really should be very picky on the books you can find, because you can be, right? There are so many potential books out there that we're over here turning down 50% ROI. We were at Miami Sales Conference, and when we said 50% ROI,
they thought we were lying.
They thought we were
lying. I'm like, no, actually, we tell our audience that this is 50%, and there was a good portion of people are like, oh, that's too low. Their eyes couldn't get any bigger. Like, are you serious? It was like, yeah.
There are people doing million in wholesale for like 10% margins.
6 to 10%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
OA 15%.
Yeah.
Right. And so here we are now. Granted, they're trying to buy 15 or 20 units to get 10% on something, but I mean, you can get the same amount with one book.
Right.
They sell one book, which is pretty insane. Michael said, and Michael was there. Michael and Missy were there, right? Michael, and we weren't lying. Like, that's.
Yeah.
People were like, we were even trying to convince people, hey, try OA books. Like there's one guy we're trying to convince, and he was just like, no, no, it's not possible. I'm like,
Like
oh,
somehow we're lying. Like we both got together, me and you, and you're like, here's what we're gonna tell everybody so that we can grow the book community.
yeah. And that's one of the reasons why people always ask, like, Joji, how come you didn't go out of books? I'm just like, the grass is just so green. Why would I go to, I mean, it's already dark green over here. Why would I mean, I guess I could jump over there. Maybe it's greener, but I mean, from what I've seen, I just love books and the margins on them are awesome and it's scalable. Anyways,
Somebody
like,
told me, hey, yeah, they were getting like 20% in shoes, and I was like, oh, cool, but you're telling me it's 20%, but do you know how much like customer returns you're getting? They're like, oh yeah, I'm actually getting about like 20-30% of returns from customers, and I'm like, yeah, that eats up all your profit. And he's like,
yeah.
okay, yeah, that's kind of true.
He's like,
So
yeah, well, what do
yeah,
you do with them? He's like, well, I gotta sell them locally or sell them on
yeah.
eBay. I mean,
Like our
that doesn't
used
sound,
books when they're returned, they're still used, so
yeah,
you just send them
exactly.
back in.
Someone returns a book, it goes right back in inventory. Or even if it's unfulfillable, it goes back to Prep Center. Prep Center sends it right back because most of the time a book is unfulfillable. It usually is fine.
Yeah.
And so, what are you thinking long term return rate? Like 3% maybe? Like, I mean, really,
It's
right?
three. It Yeah, 3% is realistic, and then but then actually my return rate's about 1%, like a basically a loss because that 3% comes back to me, but most of those books go back
Right.
into my inventory right away. So
Yeah.
I'm really only losing about 1% in losses. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So we also let's see. It's the sale that they're addicted to. I'm good selling only 10 items a day. Absolutely, Shannon.
yeah,
Absolutely, man. I mean, I sell, I sold 6 or 7 books a day, 400, $500 in revenue. It's like, oh yeah, I made, $250 profit. You're
yeah,
like, what? That's crazy, right?
right,
So Denise says, I find that I can make better returns searching BookMine online than even within the wild sourcing most of the time. ROI spent, yeah. And the
yeah,
thing here is, like, there's ways you can source using key, but that's where we started, right? We think those are the trenches. This is the trenches,
yeah.
right?
It is.
And you can absolutely be successful in the trenches, but there's a time component you have to think about it as well, right? We
Right.
literally just pulled up BookMine when we started on my YouTube channel. The first 3 books are like, buy those. I mean, how
Yep.
simple is that? Literally log
Right.
on to BookMine, buy the
Yep.
books
Right.
versus, okay, I got this product finder filter, I got this keep deals section. You look at the keep deals, oh, this is a great price, $15. Oh wait, $15 plus $15 shipping. Okay, just waste that time. So you can definitely be successful, but it's the time factor. Missy said, like I said before, the conference solidified that we are in the absolute best business model. Let's go. And
Yeah.
that's why. What are we really doing? What are we really trying hard behind the scenes on right now, Victor? What are we really trying to
Yeah,
do?
I was about to say, are we gonna talk about it because we don't have anything official yet, right?
Yeah,
We don't. So don't say lock these dates down or anything like that because we don't have dates yet. But we are after the first day of the conference, we both talked about it and we are like, we really got to get something together for booksellers because we kept on talking to people. Everyone was like, oh, books. There's an online arbitrage for books. Yeah, and there's a book community still, and and so both me and you started talking about it. We got with Avery, and we're like, yeah, let's do this. Let's get a book conference together. There's a void in the market right now. There used to be book conferences, and that hasn't happened for a few years. So let's make one together. So we've been headed that way ever since. There's a lot of things behind the scenes that have been happening, but we don't have any type of dates yet. But we're definitely trying to do it sometime this year. So yeah.
let's go. Book selling
Um,
conference sponsored by
because some
BookMine.
people thought maybe next year. And I'm like, next year? No, no, we're talking about this year. You know, sometime before, let's say October. Before
Yeah,
October, we're gonna have a conference.
yeah,
And
absolutely,
we're
Nathan.
we're getting the speakers together. I mean, definitely me and you are going to be talking in it. We're
Yep.
even talking about a workshop, maybe of actually teaching some more in there, things like
Yeah.
that. So yeah.
Yeah, we're already getting to the point where we're thinking seriously about a couple locations, and we're thinking
Mm-hmm.
about a specific place for a conference room. We're thinking about the schedule. We're thinking about the speakers. So we're just letting you know, dude, that Victor and I, we deliver. So we're really trying to make this happen for everyone. You should do the conference in Colorado, so Shane. Yeah. What we know about booksellers is booksellers tend to be on the cheaper side, not so flashy. So we are looking for places that are going to be cheap to fly to, and the
Yeah.
hotel room stays are also going to be
Also
cheap.
cheap.
because
Right,
we're not
because
here to
if
make
you think
money.
of Miami, that's expensive, right? The
Yeah,
hotel rooms are expensive. The place to rent is expensive. We probably would have to ask very similar ticket price,
yeah,
$600. And I know that's a hard no for a lot of people. So
yeah,
we're trying to find somewhere where it's cheaper for everyone to fly in. The hotels
yeah,
are cheaper because we're trying to find the best value for everyone.
yeah, absolutely. And we're not
Yeah.
here to make money off you guys. We're
No.
here to bring the community together
Yeah.
because if we bring the community together, right, people see the value of being able to buy books on Amazon, resell books on Amazon. But also there's, like I said, there's the way I think of the book selling community and online book arbitrage is you got yourself like a massive jar or vase and it's like barely full. There's just like so much empty room for more people to come in. And what's so great about a book selling conference is that's where you get to meet with people and you get to network and you get to see, hey, this is what you're doing that's working well. This is what I'm doing working well. You can start creating lifelong friendships with each other. And
Yeah.
not only that, you can get interviewed by Judge Davenport.
Let's go.
Texas,
You threw
yeah.
that in.
Texas. We get a lot of Texas here. That
Yeah,
doesn't narrow
and,
down.
and it is one of the ideas is DFW. So because it's a huge airport there, but
Yeah,
it's one of the places.
yeah. It's one of
Yeah,
the places we're seriously considering.
yeah, yeah,
But all you need to know is that that we're really doing our best to make it happen,
yeah.
and we're going to bring some awesome speakers. Obviously, you are going to need to pay to come because we are going to need to get people to come, and that means we'll probably have to subsidize some sort of plane or hotel, and so there's going to be some cost. But the reason why we're not going to be doing it in high expensive cities because then we would have to charge you a lot more money because flying there and staying there is a lot more money. So trying to do it as much as cheaply as we can, but provide as much value as we can. So
Like we both agreed, we're just trying to break even. If we can
yeah.
break even, this is success for us. We
Yeah, if
just
we
want to
could
get
break
the community
even,
together.
that's
The
amazing. Even
community
if we lose a
together to
little
be
bit of
able to
money,
talk to you guys.
yeah.
Yeah,
And even if we lose a little bit of money, I mean,
yeah,
that's fine for us because we see it's a positive net win
that's true.
for the community. And like I said, BookMine will be there, so we'll be sponsoring as well. And we got who's the keynote speaker. We've got some ideas, but I think we've got a lot of really cool people. We're hoping to bring on. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't know if I told. Yeah, anyways,
What
yeah,
were you
just
gonna say?
really awesome. Huh?
What were you gonna say?
No, no, nothing, nothing, nothing. I was
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, we're just really excited overall. It's 8 a.m. here on the West Coast. My son is waking up, so I'm gonna go hang out and spend the day with him. And that's what's great about book selling is I can buy books when he's asleep. So I've already bought some books this morning,
I did
and I'll
too.
buy books later tonight. So
Yep. Same way.
all right, guys. Hope everyone has a good
That was a
one,
lot of fun.
and we'll keep you posted.
Yep.
All right. Thank you both for bringing the expertise. Absolutely,
Let's
Denise.
go.
Make sure you all have your daily book goal. Make sure you guys have your
Yeah.
daily spend goal. Make sure you're buying books. You guys,
All right.
take it easy.
Talk to you guys
Bye-bye.
later. Bye.